MECCA podcast. To my immediate right, I have somebody that he's going to introduce himself because he's probably one of the least most famous, but famous NBA basketball players out of New York City. That's a good description. I just made that shit up. Introduce yourself to our constituents.
I'm Royal Ivey. Originally from I'm from Harkless, New York. Went to Cardozo High School, Blair Academy, and the University of Texas, and played in the NBA for 10 years, and now I'm assistant coach with the New York Knickerbockers.
So how did you, because you were at Cardozo, we're just going to go to high school years all the way up. Cardozo, you killed at Cardozo, and then you played for the legendary Ron Clario. How was that experience?
It was a great experience, and people don't know my background. I actually went to Jackson, my zone high school.
And Granby?
Yep, and my mom didn't want me to go to that high school because,
Jackson.
Just Jackson, yeah, it wasn't the greatest school, so I had to audition to get in Cardozo through dance, and I got in through the dance program, Mr. Vaughn, and I wasn't going to play basketball, I was going to play baseball, and I ended up trying out for the team my freshman year, and I got cut, like second to last cuts. My
for varsity, so they sent you to JV?
Varsity, yeah, I got cut for the varsity team. JV team, I didn't even play because I failed off. My grades weren't good enough. And then sophomore year, I made the team. I didn't really play much. I was on the team, playing garbage minutes. And then my junior year, I grew a little bit, and I played, and we had a pretty good team. Brian Woolworth, 20, a.k.a. 20, he was the lead player, and he actually went down with ACL, so that actually allowed me to kind of be featured. And I just stepped in and just do what I do. Like, I'm known for playing defense, and that's what I hang my hat on. So that got me into a lot of doors, And then I went to prep school at Blair Academy.
In Jersey. They had like a little history there also of NBA players.
Yeah, so Luol Deng, we came in the same year. He was a freshman. I was a post-grad. I was a young senior. I just turned 17, so I did a post-grad year. And I had my SAT. I did a post-grad year. And that was a great year, We didn't win the whole Maple League championship, but we went far. Had a first winning season for Blair, and I got an opportunity to go to Texas. And
who was he coach at? Barnes there?
Yeah, Rick Barnes. So it was a weird story. I was supposed to go to Northwestern, but I didn't get in. My SAT wasn't high enough, so Kevin O'Neill was recruiting me, and I jumped to the fact that it was a Big Ten school, power conference, Power 5. So I felt like I could play at that level, So I bet it on myself.
Kevin O'Neill, he actually started upstate New York coaching, and he was
a maniac.
Yeah, I'm glad you said it. You have more clout to say than I can, but he was a little weird at times because he went hard. But he knew his ish though. He knew his ish.
Nah, he definitely knew. He was. I liked him because he was a basketball. He was a basketball head, and he definitely was good with his X's and O's, but I guess his demeanor was a little bit different. He was a little hothead, but I'm not foreign to that because I played for Clario, so I've seen it all, dealing with, guys like that. But, going to Blair helped me prepare me for college, just the setting, being in the prep school, and then coaching with a former college coach, Joe Montagna. Yeah, so, that now Blair's a powerhouse. We got 4 NBA guys from Blair, So that's pretty astonishing that, I was one of the founding fathers at Blair Academy.
You, Charlie, Villanueva,
Luol Deng, and Mario Shayek from Virginia.
Really?
He transferred from UVA, and he went to Iowa State, and he just got drafted this year. He was like the 54th pick for the Philadelphia.
I didn't know that one. I know the top three.
He's from Toronto. He's a younger guy. He just got drafted.
Okay. So then after Blair, then you have Texas. You did what? 4?
I did all 4 years.
All 4 years there, right?
All 4 years.
How was that experience?
It was a great experience playing the backcourt with TJ Ford for 2 years.
Yeah.
Went to the Final Four. You know, had some big time battles with, you know, Tony Allen at Oklahoma State. Jamal Tinsley at Iowa State. I was a freshman. Jamal was a senior.
Did you play against Shane Gatson? He was at
Shane Gatson was at Oklahoma State.
Yep.
Played against Shane Gatson. Just it was a great situation for me. I just never knew, like, you know, playing at that level how I would impact it, and I did, because to me I won at every level, from high school to college, you know, even the pros. And like a lot of guys go for accolades, but I'm a bona fide winner. You know, at the end of the day, like, I know how to impact winning. It's not just about numbers. You know, I know how to motivate and grab that momentum from my teammates. You know, and that synergy is everything. You know, moving forward.
I agree. So you, when watching you play throughout, because again, one of my best friends is Talik, and he was in that same era, and we watched you, and he said, "Yo, he makes winning plays, particularly on the defensive end." And you mentioned earlier, you hang your hat on that. Would you say that you're the precursor to Pat Beverly?
Well, that's funny, because somebody kind of mentioned, one of my coaches on my coaching staff said, "You remind me similar. We could be a Pat Bev." Yeah, because I would say, you know, that mentality, 94 feet, hanging your hat on defense, and that was my niche. And like, the NBA has changed. It's you know, you can't really touch guys. It's not a lot of physicality. And when I was playing, it was all about physicality, and that's how I got on the court, because I would run through a wall. I was physical. I sacrificed my body. I didn't care. Like, when Hakeem Warwick dunked on me in the Final Four, like, everybody clowns me, you know, they made a slam up and this and that, but I'm trying to win a national championship, so I was willing to do whatever it took. So at the end of the day, like, you know, I kind of look at my game as, you know, a precursor to Pat Bev, because he's a dog, and I kind of consider myself a dog, because if I didn't have that mentality, I wouldn't have made it.
I don't remember you going in under any screens.
Nah, you would run through the screen or get over.
Yeah, I never remember.
And a lot of
I never seen you go over under the screen.
Yeah, a lot of the times I would run into the screens and just dive, because they would give you the call. A lot of guys were afraid to, you know, get skinny and try to get over the screens and just blow up screens. And nowadays, it's hard to teach that, you know, because guys, they don't want to stay attached to the body. They don't want to get over, and they don't want to get hit. Right. And I would just run into screens or get over, or we call them stick'ems now. You got to be a stick'em guy. So yeah, so I mean, I was willing to just sacrifice my body, and that's what it's about.
So when you were at Cardozo, Blair, and then you went to Texas, did you think coaching would be in your future?
I had leadership qualities, but never, like, you know, because you don't see the end of the tunnel at your career. So in the moment, no. But later, you know, I coached in the top 100 camp, NBA top 100 camp they have in Charlottesville, Virginia at UVA. And it was funny because I got a chance to coach Devin Booker, Tyler Ulis were on my team. We actually went undefeated. And then in those moments, I was still a player. I was like, I kind of take an affinity to coaching, you know, just giving these guys direction, motivating them, just encouraging them, empowering them, and just, you know, at the end of the day, like, being that not a father figure, but being that rock for them. So when they look for guidance. These guys want guidance on and off the court. So, you know, as a player, no, but like later in my career, I was like, maybe I should do this, because I come from a lineage of teachers. My mom was a teacher. You know, my grandmother was a teacher. And at the end of the day, like, that's in my bloodline. So coaching is just an extension of teaching. It is. It's just basketball the subject. Just teaching basketball. So.
Unranked. What were you ranked coming out of high school?
I wasn't ranked. I got on Nate Blue about that, because he posted up something about the rankings in New York City. I think I was ranked like 37th in the senior class going into my senior year, and I might have finished like top 14 or 15. Okay. So, Kenny Satt was the #1 guy. He's McDonald's All-American. Majestic Matt, you know, Dwayne Woodward. I mean, excuse me, Brian Woodward he went to URI. So it was a couple guys in front of me. Greg Morton, Mark McCarroll was you know. So I wasn't really big into like just the hype, man. I just put my head down and just work.
Which is great because then you went to Texas and you were drafted second round, correct?
Second round, the 37th pick.
You did 10 years in the league.
I wasn't even supposed to get drafted though. That's the thing, because I wasn't on any draft boards. You know, I'm an overachiever in life, and that's what the mentality I just take moving forward, because nothing was given to me.
Right.
I had to go and take. So at the end of the day, like, that's just how I model my life after that. Like, you know, you got to put in the work, but at the end of the day, I take nothing for granted, you know, and I'm humbled by each situation, because the proof is in the pudding. You got to put out the work. Like, it's not about the talk. It's not about the accolades. It's about what you do and how you grow as a person.
Right.
So I always, you know, learn that, you know, I'm trying to have a growth mindset. You know, I'm trying to be open to everything, but I'm trying to embrace my challenges. And my life is a challenge, just like anybody else is a challenge. We have adversities. I've been waived. I've been traded. I had to make teams. I had people say I wasn't good enough. I shouldn't have been playing, and I just had to prove myself. And I got to a point where I didn't care what people said. Oh, he can't score. He can't do this. But I could defend.
Yeah, locked up.
And that's what kept me around. And then I manicured my career where I could make a corner three, where I was solid enough, where I didn't turn over the ball. Like, I'm #2 in the Texas books. Assist to turnover ratio.
What is it, like 4?
3 to 1, 3.2 to 1, and I'm still there. You know what I'm saying? Because I value the ball. So I knew my niche, and I played to my strengths.
Would you say that your mentality is New York?
For sure, I'm New York all day. I'm not the flashy New York. I'm the gutter New York, like the grit.
Right.
Because it was no hype around me. I just put my head down and I continue to work. And it's the grit where we come from.
Right.
Like, you know, like the playground, like everybody wants to be the flashy, handles, get to the cup, shake people. I wasn't that. I was one-on-one, mano-a-mano. I'm in your pants. And I'm gonna guard you, I'm gonna lock you up. You know, I'm gonna be tough. And I'm gonna be mentally tough, and you're not gonna rattle me.
Right.
And I used to talk a lot to people and get in people's heads, because I was like, I'm from New York, and I'm gonna show you this toughness. And it's not just about me getting a bucket. It's about I take pride on the other end, and it's not a lot of people that do that. And I carved out a whole career, and I was like, it could be more Royal Ivies than anything,
right? Because
my mentality got me there. My mentality is everything, and that's everything. Like, that's your mindset,
right? That's New York.
That is New York. And to be quite honest, I'm not very talented. But my talent was that I work hard. And working hard is a talent.
Yeah.
And I knew when I stepped on that court, nobody was going to outwork me. So that's how I made it.
And then from after your 10-year career, again, anybody could do more than 2 years, 3 years in the league. To me is an impressive feat. You did 10. Then you moved on to where you are now. For the most part, you got like you did the MBPA top 100. You transitioned to the coaching world. On that level, do you see any players that exemplify what you represented as a New York player coming up now, as far as a New York player?
In New York?
Yeah, New York.
To be quite honest, I don't really know New York like that, because.
But that's great because not great. The fact that you don't see New York like that on your level. Is that an indictment that New York is not producing the way we used to at one point?
We're not. I was just with Alonzo Trina yesterday, and we were talking about that. He's from Seattle, Washington. Just look. Just look at the guys in the NBA that are having, like, look at Jamal Crawford's career. He's played, 18 years. But just look at the talent we had back, let's go a decade. Like, when I was in the league, you had Smush, you had L.O., you had Rafer. We had a lot of dudes. You look at now. Ron, yes. Marbury.
Steph.
I'm trying to think. Kenny Anderson, Sebastian. We had a line of New York guys. Even guys 1 or 2. Chris Taft was in the league for a heartbeat.
McCullough was there for a couple.
McCullough, yeah. Now you look up, these guys can't. They had 1 or 2 years. It's like, who's from Tobias Harris is from Long Island, and that's my guy, but he's not a New York City guy. Like,
we got Danny and Tobias from Long Island.
And they from Long Island. I'm talking about New York City from the 5 boroughs.
Kimba, of course.
Kimba, of course, holding it down.
We got, I did this the other day. We got Kimba, Donovan, which is upstate. He's upstate.
Donovan don't count.
Donovan.
He's not New York City.
We got Kimba.
We're going to claim him because he's nice.
Yeah.
I'm talking about New York City, like, it should be like that.
Hami.
Pons, yeah, okay, he's a rookie.
Oh, he's on the cusp right now, right?
But he's not guaranteed. Like, you got to play a game first.
Yeah. Check the Diallo.
Check, but
he was imported at the end.
Yeah, I'm talking about born and raised, New York Czech from Africa. He came over here and he played.
Hami.
You say Hami and Kimba. That's it. 2 New York City guys. It's 2019.
So what's the problem?
You tell me. I'm just coming back.
Yeah.
I'm seeing it right now. To me, like, at the end of the day, is it the AAU system? Is it the high school system? Are kids not playing? They going to prep school? I don't know.
No, it can't be prep because you did prep.
I did
and you
prep,
still made it to the league.
And I'm a New York kid, but
right.
To me, we need to do some research on this because Chicago's putting them out, Seattle's putting them out. Of course, California.
Yeah.
Like, we supposed to be the Mecca, and we got 2 guys.
Cali had until Giannis got the MVP. They had the 2 last MVPs, and Harden and Russ.
And it's very disappointing to me because, like, we the Mecca. Like, this is the blacktop. Like, we hone our skills on the blacktop, but I don't think we hone our skills on the blacktop because these guys ain't playing.
We're not on the blacktop.
Exactly. So that's a falsified statement.
Right.
Because now these kids is entitled when you tell them, like, oh, they're not good enough. They just jump from another AAU team. They don't want to put in the work. So to me, it's a disappointment. We got to backtrack and find out where's the missing link. Because it's a missing link because there's talent, but at the end of the day, I don't know why it's not moving forward. Like, Isaiah Whitehead should still be in the league.
Oh, Lance. Oh, he's out. Lance is out now, right?
Yeah.
He's in China?
He's in China.
China, right?
And I just don't get it. Like, it's all these other cities and states that put out these NBA guys.
Do you think that few are willing to do what you did as far as lower your be humble and do the role that they supposed to do or do a role?
Because to me in the NBA is you got mega stars. It's 3 tiers. You got mega stars, you got role players, and you got the bottom feeders. And I was a bottom feeder, and I can say that. And at the end of the day, like, the bottom feeders want to be in the middle. The middle guys want to be the superstar. But when you're at the bottom, like, you're on the cusp every year.
Right.
Like,
Year to year.
every year I had to go get a contract. And that's hard to do. So at the end of the day, like, some guys can't accept that, and they talk about they this guy or they better this guy, but they're not willing to put in the work to get to the middle. I never was in the middle of the pack. I was at the cusp. I just jumped around, and I grinded enough to get another situation. Like, that's what it is to me, guys. If I'm trying to make an NBA roster, I'm gonna play summer league.
Right.
I'm gonna be at Gergerich camp. I'm gonna do everything it takes to get another job and get the opportunity, because it's all about the opportunity, because these guys can play, but the NBA is all about opportunity.
Yeah, gotta get your foot in the door.
Right.
Do you think that now, due to training, and I'm obviously a trainer, that now it's a middle class game? Meaning that people that can afford training are those that have more disposable income?
Well, training to me is all new, because when we coming up, we didn't have trainers. We, if me and Bell working out, we rebounding for each other. We playing ones. There was no trainer. It was, you go to the gym, you get your shots out, you do your little mic in drills, you get a sweat, you stay in shape, and then you play. That's how you get better. It wasn't, all right, my trainer puts me through this workout and he says, all right, we're going to do the Lillard move, we're going to do this. To me, that's a facade because at the end of the day, in my situation, I'm never getting a chance to play like that. So I'm fooling myself.
Training, I think some of those guys are really taking advantage of the youth.
I mean, to me, you hit it right. It's situational. Where is a coach going to put you? Where you going to be in the game? If you're going to be in the corner, you should work on mastering catch and shoot threes. Yep. If you're a catch and shoot guy coming off pin down, you should be, all right, you want to put cones? I'm going to have you come off of staggers. I'm going to have you come off of flares. I'm going to have you come off of floppies. And that's your game because you need to make this shot in the game. So that's how we're going to train. Right. So it should be all catered to what you're doing in the game.
Right. I think that some of the stuff they do is kind of...
Because if I give you 1,000 dribble moves, you're never going to be able to do that in the game. How many times you going to play one-on-one? Only way you're going to play one-on-one if it's a hand grenade come to you and it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's it. That's it. You got to get rid of it.
So that's to me. The whole training, these younger guys don't play anymore. We played the whole summer. That's how I got better.
Because you didn't do too much AAU.
I play AAU. I play with the Gauchos. I play with Andre Barrett and those guys. I played, but we played.
But you played, right.
We played. It was like we practiced and we played. That's it. It wasn't no training. Our workout was go get 500 shots. That's it. Your trainer, he got you doing all this footwork stuff, and to me, I don't know. So like, we got to do some more research on this training stuff.
No, we don't. It's kind of effed up, to be honest with you. Because some people aren't really doing, like you said, they aren't doing what's going to help them for the game. So now you're in the NBA, and everybody has their guy. How does the NBA look at those guys when they walk in with their trainers? Like, come on, man, are you serious?
Well, to be quite honest, like, I mean, some of them guys are good. Like my guy Phil Beckner, he's Damian Lillard's guy. I was just down in Arizona with him, and he was working with Alonzo Trier. He's really good, but he keeps it simple. It's simplicity to the game. We make it too complicated. It's basketball. Like how many things can you do? Like you got to master certain things. Your body posture, certain things. The way you position the ball, the way you catch it in the pocket, the way you put the ball, the pound, certain things are detailed, certain things you could trim the fat. So I watched him and how he conducts a workout. It's pretty simple, but he's hitting on certain factors. He's working with Lillard. He's working with a high-class guy, and his guy's pretty good.
Okay, due to social media, he doesn't get the respect that he deserves because he's one of...
Because he doesn't post. Because he's not the guy, he's not going to post his stuff. He's not posting his runs and all that. Like, to me, that's clout.
Clout change, yeah.
And the social media platform is a facade to me too, because everybody's putting out what good things they're doing, but you don't put the bad things on social media.
Right. Thank you. Good job.
You don't put the bad things, you just put the good things.
Right.
So like to me that's a facade, like putting your workouts and I have this guy and runs, like I don't get that. And he doesn't do that.
Yeah, I know.
He's on Twitter, that's it.
Yeah, he's on Twitter. He's been heavy a lot on Twitter recently. Because of social media, but he's one of the best. I'm not clout chasing, he's one of the best. There's a couple of them out there that's really, really good. But for the most part, like you said, there's too much of that on the gram and on mostly on the gram. Mostly the gram. So you're working with the Knicks now. How is that transition? Because you started with the
Oklahoma City Blue.
The Blue, right? The G League version of OKC. How was that? Because you just came out.
It's pretty good. I'm going in my 5th year coaching, and it just, I'm grateful to start my career in Oklahoma. I played there, and just to get the basics, like, how do you trim, how do you cut film, how do you watch film, how do you put together your edit, how do you do your workouts, how do you run your drills, like they gave me all the nuances, as a player, and it was a lot, and I'm glad I have that foundation that I learned how to work and not depend on other people to do my work. Like the video guy doesn't have to cut my video because I know how to cut video. So I'm very self-sufficient. So I can go home and do a scout and not panic because my work is not done or I don't know how to do X, Y, and Z, and I'm dependent on people. So I'm thankful for that whole situation.
So you ran the whole gamut as far as what's expected of a coach.
Yeah, well, in G League, you got to do all that. G League, you player development, you're the video guy, you the defensive coordinator, you're all those roles. And you the Uber. And you driving people around. So like, and I got that in 1 year. You know, I moved up in 1 year, but at the end of the day, I'm thankful I got that opportunity to start that way because it allowed me to progress. You know, each year in my field, and like I was in Oklahoma, you know, with Russ and Kevin and all those guys, playing with those guys and working with those guys, and it was definitely seeing how they worked and working along with them and seeing what they didn't like and what they liked. Like, that's definitely, I think I'm ahead of the ball game, just dealing with megastars. And then, like, having a relationship, playing with them, but then also holding those guys accountable, not being afraid to tell them, like, yo, this is what it is. And it's okay. Like, you know, confrontation is good. That's real in coaching. You need confrontation. So at the end of the day, I got it early in my career just dealing with those guys because I wasn't afraid to just say what I need to say and move on. So
now the transition from being on the court to behind the scenes, did you say, like, when you behind the scenes, like, yo, I'll bust that dude's ass?
Well, you know what? In my first year, I was just in the G League, just freshly finished playing. I had that mentality, but now I'm a coach, and it's different. You can't really look at it like that because I'll never get an opportunity to get on the court, but we joke around. And you know what? I do get on the court with my players still to this day, and I call that sweat equity because guys entrust in you more when you can get out there and show them things. You know, they have a respect factor when you can get out there and guard them a little bit and go at them a little bit. And, you know, it's fun. You know, you bumping bodies and, you know, they turn up their juices a little bit more because they don't want to be embarrassed. So they're like, yo, you haven't played in umpteen years. So as long as my body is functional and I'm able to move, I'm always get on the court. And I learned that from Mark Bryant. He's 50-something years old. And he still gets on the court. You know, he had a hip replacement and he was out, and now he's back on the court. He's with the Phoenix Suns now. So as long as, you know, these 2 feet are working and I'm in good graces by the Creator, like, I'm gonna be out there on the court with my guys.
Mark Bryant played hard, defensive presence, rebounded, did his role. Mo Cheeks, probably one of your biggest mentors, right?
One of them.
Played his role, played with probably one of the greatest teams ever.
Won a championship.
Won a chip, played his role,
was
played
an
defense.
all-star. Yep. And he would sit to me, he was like, I wasn't a star. I had Julius. Yeah, and I passed the ball, and when I was open, he passed me, and I made a shot, and that's how I made my living, and he could defend. So to me, it's all about staying in your lane, in the game of life, like knowing your role and being a star in your role. And it might sound simple, but it is pretty simple to me. Like, and that's where I hang my hat on, just staying in your lane, and then trying to master whatever you do, because in the league, like I said, with the superstars, they get a longer leash, but role players, they're like specialists. And if you can do one thing or a couple things really, really well, you can play it for a long time. So that's what I did. And it was something simple, but other people weren't doing it. So it made it look so easy. Like, people don't guard like Pat Beverly. And all defense is effort. It's effort, and you got to be in shape. And that's what he is. And then he talks, and, you know, he's from Chicago, so it's like, boom, 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 and look at him. He just signed a deal for $40 million. $40 million. And he was playing over in Israel. He didn't come straight into
like 4 years ago, right? 5 years ago.
5, 6 years ago. They cut him with the Miami. It was funny because when we was playing them, he was talking to Fizz because Fizz was in Miami at the time. He was like, why y'all cut me? Why y'all cut me? Like, he kept on asking that question. Like, he's a pest. But he's got a dog mentality. So
that's crazy.
That's what's up.
Now, your time. Then you went from Oak to Blue to where?
To Oklahoma City. They moved me up out of player development for a year, and then I moved up to assistant coach the following year, and then I was there another year for assistant coach, and then I moved to New York. David Fisdale brought me to New York.
How was that?
It was surreal because just getting that phone call, you know,
He's like,
being from New York. I mean, I was in my last year in my deal, and just like Katie just left, and you know, Russ was MVP. You know, we had a pretty good year, and I was comfortable in my situation, but I felt like I needed more of more of a challenge. Yeah, just more of an opportunity. So Fizz, he told me he was gonna come and get me when he was in Memphis, like, and he was a man of his words, and he was actually my player development coach in Atlanta, so we have a relationship. And I got a phone call. It's funny because I was in New York City, and I was dying for Mother's Day, and I was upstairs on the balcony, and he calls me. He was like, everybody calls me Smoke, so he was like, Smoke. He was like, it's Fizz. What's up, Fizz? He was like, I'm gonna call you back like in a couple of days. Like, well,
what you call me now? Right? Tell me now.
So he called me back, and I was sitting on this couch, and he's like, he said, I got an opportunity for you. Come back home. What you think? And I was like, man, what you think I think? And he was like, listen, man, it's not on the front of the bench, it's behind the bench, sitting behind me, but you know, if the opportunity comes up where, you know, you can move and progress, you can move and progress. But I was like, man, I can't turn this down. So, you know, they called and asked for permission, and I interviewed and I got the job, and it was like so surreal coming back home, you know, coaching for the New York Knicks, my home team. Like, I played there in high school. We won the city championship. I'm not gonna be modest. I got the MVP. College, I played there many a times. We played against Duke. That was my third game in freshman year. I ended up starting. I got the second longest starting
position.
No, yeah. Well, I had the second. I had the first, and then Damian James beat me out for the longest game streak at Texas. And it started with
at the
Garden against Duke. We were down by like 15-20 through all the freshmen, and we just was hooping. So started the next game, and then from there it's a wrap. And then played there as a pro. So like, it's just so surreal, like, just to get a chance to play. And now you coaching. I go there. It's like a dream I'm living. It still hasn't hit me, and I'm going in my second year. Like, I walk in that building every day, and I'm thankful, because I'm like, I could never, like, I couldn't paint this picture.
Right. Now, you're probably, and we talked about off camera, but New York coaches, we talked about the players not really getting on the court as much on the NBA level, but now coaches, we have, how many NBA coaches do you know off the top of your head that's from New York?
From the city?
From the city.
Well, we could talk about the city.
Yeah,
like,
city.
Nah, I don't know many. I don't think people, they don't give back to the game, and I think coaching is giving back, because this basketball has taken me all over the world. It's changed my life. It's shown me stuff. It's brought me friendships like that I could never describe. So at the end of the day, like, this is how I give back, by empowering guys, by encouraging guys, by investing time into guys, not just on the court but off the court. So that's my mindset. Like, that's why I do it. I love my job. Like, I get up every day and I'm like, yo, I'm going to coach, but this is basketball. So I'm excited, and my approach it's all about my energy. So my energy is consistent, but my energy is always one way. Like, it's upbeat, it's positive. So that's how I look at it. Like, it's surreal to me. Like, guys play the game, but they don't give back to the game. They want to take. And I feel like the game has gave me so much, so this is how I give back to the game.
So you've come full circle now.
Yeah,
it's not done. It's not done yet.
It's not done, but life is a full circle. Yeah,
right.
For sure. Like, you know, you take so much, but when do you give?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just finished my clinic with about 100 kids in my neighborhood, and it's about giving because I've been put in a situation, and that's what the Creator has, you know, bestowed on my heart. Like, you've been given this opportunity and this platform, you must do something.
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta give, but I gotta do more, and that's my mindset. You gotta do more.
So, which is a great segue to the next thing I want to bring up. Even though you were a professional, you still had a free camp in your neighborhood the whole time for the most part, maybe like 11 years.
Yeah,
11 years, right?
This is the
11th.
Mm-hmm.
So you've been coming back on every year in the summers to give like a free clinic to the kids. How has that been going so far? And that's part of your give back mantra.
Yes, it's definitely because, you know, my parents have taught me, like, you know, just humility. Like, I've been cultured. I've seen a lot coming up. I've been blessed to have my grandparents in my life. So I know there's a lot of unfortunate people in this life, so in this world. So I feel like I'm fortunate. So I need to do as much as I can do while I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Not about my legacy. It's about my intentions. My intentions is good, to do good by people, you know. To show people that it's kindness, it's love in this world.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so much crazy stuff that's going on in this world today that we shed so much light on the negativity.
Right.
And we're so pessimistic about things. We're not optimistic. So I'm trying to give these guys a little glimmer of hope or a little shine. Like, I'm a kid from your neighborhood and I made it.
Right.
And as long as I'm here, I'm going to give back to you, whether it's one day, whether it's 3 days, whether it's a week. But I'm going to try to be as consistent so you can rely on me and somebody else can pick up when my time is done, somebody else should be able to pick up because I showed them the way.
Right.
So that's why I do it, you know. And it's joyous for people to say thank you and the people to know, like, you know, that they look forward to this every year. Like, I didn't do it last year because we transitioned from moving to Oklahoma and it was just a lot. But, you know, my mindset was like, I have to do it because people are relying on me. So that's just something small, you know, and it's just like not forgetting where you come from. I come from Harkless, Queens. So, like, you know, like when I'm walking around the neighborhoods, you know, my neighbor, Brian, he wearing my shirt. Little kids in the street, they wear my shirt during the summer, and it feels good. And the kids, you know, when you walk in the neighborhood, they acknowledge, they know who you are, and that means more to me than anything. Like, just that, you know, I could walk in my neighborhood and be okay, and not have to worry about like somebody trying to rob me, or somebody trying to, you know, do harm.
Good.
Nah, like I get a pass because I take care of I feed my community. That's how I feed my community every day, every year. So, you know.
No, I think that's dope, and I think that's what's missing. I'm sure in other cities, I can't speak about other cities, but New York is that they don't have the opportunity to touch, quote unquote, an NBA person that's came from New York, that came from where they came from. I would love to have seen, you know, I'm not gonna name names, but certain players come back and give to their community that made them.
And other people do. I know Hami has his day.
Yeah, he did a great thing over there.
Taj Gibson does stuff, and you know, like, you know, they're still active players, but you know, Kenny A had his tournament. You know, Rod is doing his stuff with Kyrie,
right?
You know, and it's an influx, but like, it's about being consistent because, you know, as a player, it's easy to do it. You have the monetary flow, but like, when you're not a player, how do you identify yourself with your community?
Right.
Because I'm no longer a player, but I'm still in basketball. So how do you identify? And I give kudos to those guys because those guys, like, they put on, you know, it's a big show, and it takes a lot of willpower, a lot of time.
Right.
And we need more guys doing that.
I agree.
We need more guys giving themselves, you know, whether it's a day, Isaiah Whitehead does it. You know what I'm saying? And I say kudos to those guys, and I pat them on the back. We need more people doing it, you know, because these kids, they need outlets.
Right.
They don't have. There's no more PALs. There's no more recreational centers,
Right.
especially in Queens. You
Right.
know, like so, we need to do more.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, PAL is done. What rec centers? Where do kids have to go? Like that's my main goal. Like that's me saying we need to do more. Like I started up my 501c3 and. You know, LL Cool J is doing stuff, but we need recreational centers
Right.
where guys have a place to go,
Right.
place to do their homework, place to hang out.
Right.
That they're not just chilling at the park on Holiday.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Because that ain't where you know, they could be playing basketball, but there's so much other stuff going on.
Yeah. You're right, absolutely right. And back in the day, like you mentioned, the basketball players got a pass, but now the lines are blurred now. The lines are blurred in the hood.
It's so chaotic, man, because the basketball players is trying to be the rappers,
Right,
you know, like, and it's just we live in different times.
Right.
And it's like
They need a safe haven to go
you
somewhere.
need a safe haven where nobody else is mixing and mingling, nobody else is hanging out, nobody else is like, this is where you go to hone your craft.
Right.
You know, like, and guys don't go to the park no more. Because I used to go to Jamaica Park and play every day, like after school. So at the end of the day, like, the park was cool, but the park isn't cool because you can't get a run.
Right.
You can't go up there and find. We used to go up there and be like 15, 20 kids playing now. Now, I don't know. Like, I ride by the parks and the parks are desolate.
They're dead empty.
So, like, the park used to be the way because, you know, there's a park everywhere, but that's not the way. So how do we change the narrative? I'm telling myself, okay, I did my event. It was a success. So how do I cultivate something else in the winter?
Yeah.
Like, that's my next challenge. Like,
Yeah.
how do I cultivate something for these kids in the wintertime? Whether it's 1 or 2 day, whether I don't even know. Whether I just say, hey, let's go to the movies or something. Like, giving them just something, so some kind of consistency while I'm here.
Yeah, that's a good idea. You would still want it to be basketball related, all right? Or just be around.
It could be, I mean, going to a game is basketball related.
Yeah.
Like a field trip.
Yeah.
Like I'm taking 20 kids out of 50 kids out of the community and they come to, or even coming to the practice.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna sit down with my coach and say, I got about 30 kids out, 40 kids out of my community. I want them to sit down and come watch a practice.
That'd be dope.
How can we do that?
That'd be dope.
Or when we have the open scrimmage, how can I cultivate getting a van, because then it's the transportation. How can I cultivate getting these 40 kids from here, point A in Queens, to the Garden without taking public transportation?
Yeah, you don't want 40 kids along the railroad.
Yeah. So like something like that, because it's dealing with basketball, but it's, you know what I mean, like that idea just popped up though. But that's like realistic because the open practice, they don't even know that's free.
Yeah.
They don't even know about that. You know what I'm saying? So like, how can we get a van and take 100 people maybe? Because it's free.
It's free, right? Let's flood the market. Let's flood the stands.
Let's get a bus. Let's get a couple buses. Like, get the buses for a couple hours. I pay the tab, whatever, and then we get them, and they get to meet the players afterwards.
That's fine. That's something that stays with them throughout. Yeah,
but people are not inclined to this information because, like my mom, we teach life skills, so she gives awards for poems. Like, so basically the theme was, how do you get smart? So she asked all the kids, and they gave prototypical answers like read more, but they didn't say read, and that was the main thing. These kids are not reading because they go on Instagram or they go on the YouTube and they don't watch games.
Right.
They go watch highlights.
Yeah.
And that's how they get the information, instead of watching the game and seeing the first quarter, seeing the climax of the game, how the game turned, like the high points, the low points, the runs. Like, they don't understand how a game is developed, or how the flow of a game is, or like why this happened, or why this team won, or you know, like how did this team beat this team?
Mm-hmm.
They just look at highlights.
Mm-hmm.
When you watch ESPN, it just shows you highlights.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
so then they said reading.
Reading.
So what did they say?
They said the prototypical answers like, you know, study, you know, but you need to read.
Yeah, read.
Right, because you need knowledge, you need information, you need to be able to regurgitate information and then spit it back out.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I've never been around a camp where they had something like that, where they had ask a question and create like a poem or something.
Well, yeah, it was an assignment, and then you know some kids didn't come back because they were just caught up with the basketball aspect. So next year, if you don't hand in the poem, you can't play. If you don't come on your poem, you can't play.
That's fine. But I think that's something that we particularly on the grassroots level, must do to get these young men and young women to get more academically sound and then start thinking for long-term stuff.
Yeah, because you gotta have an end goal. We all have dreams. Like one of my dreams is playing the NBA, but at the end of the day, like the NBA is short-lived. Like I played a decade, and I'm still a young man, you know. So at the end of the day, like what do I do with the rest of my life, you know? Like if you're not making buku money like the guys at the high end, you still gotta make this money work for the rest of your life. So like you still gotta work in some capacity.
Right.
So like they don't understand that even if you make it, like some guy, if you make it 1 year, 2 years, like that's not gonna set you up for life.
Right.
So they don't educate themselves, or they don't know enough knowledge. They don't read about. Well, listen, even if I make it, like I still gotta have my career span over a certain amount of years to be okay. So we need to educate these kids about like what's it about being a professional athlete, because they see the glitz of the first tier guys. They don't know the second and the third tier guys what they have to endure. You know what I'm saying?
They're gonna get bread now.
NCAA is it's gonna be trouble, because now RJ Hampton going to Australia, that league.
Yeah.
Melo going to Australia. Like the kids is getting smart, and if I have a son one day, like, and he's good enough, why go? They saying they rewarded me with a scholarship, but I made that school so much money.
Right.
When we was at Texas, man, we weren't known for a basketball school. We was a football school. We had that gym packed out all the time because we was good and we entertainment, and people want to see us play.
Who's the best player from New York that you've ever played against?
Oh man, the best player I ever played against from New York City. That's a great question. I mean, the best player I ever played in. I'll have to come back to that one.
That's a good one.
Because it's a lot, man. Like, to me, like, I mean, Andre, Cook, and those guys sat, like, those guys, to me, like, those was, like, the best guard. Because I would always say, yo, I'm from New York, and at the time, they were the three-headed monster, Talib, Andre, and them dudes all made McDonald's All-American. And, like, the city was on 10 because we had those guys. And at that point where, being in high school, those probably the best guys. I played against them and I played with them. You know what I'm saying? So I think they kind of pushed me because I was always in pursuit of, like, I'm not, I could compete with them, but I wasn't on their level at the time. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't on their level, but I was able to get on the court with them. Like, I could compete with them, but I wasn't as good. So, like, to me, I would put all three of them in that category. You know what I mean?
That's high school. What about college? You face any college?
Yeah. College, shoot, I played the best college player I played against. Man, it's a lot. Like, shoot, I had to guard one of the best ones in practice, TJ Ford. He's on my team. Hollis Price gave me fits. He gave me fits a lot of time. The toughest college.
You caught Melo?
Melo, yeah. Melo get
on the chip, right?
Yeah, and Final Four.
Final Four.
Nobody gave me 30 in college but Melo. Melo had his career high on me. He had 31 or 33 on me.
But you guarded him, or
I caught about maybe 20 something of them.
Ooh, yeah, he got.
Yeah, and the crazy thing.
But that was Melo though.
Because we playing them, and he's a freshman. I'm a junior at the time, and I'm talking hella smack to him. I'm talking smack like, yeah, I'm at you, kid. Like all this, da. And he did not say a word. He smiled the whole game, and just got bucket after bucket after bucket. It was like the craziest thing because usually when I talk to dudes, I rattle them, I get them or just get them out of their game or
Down a sweet on the baseline. Ivey now ahead of the pack, has boots on with him. Takes it right at the hole though.
I like him, I'll tell you. Ivey, I'll tell you, he is solid.
First junior college players when he was going to Oklahoma State, he was playing with Shane Gasson. And, we were playing and he was like, yeah, Ivey, I'm coming at you. And I'm like, who this cat? You know what I'm saying? And we started drawing back, and that's how, it's always respect still to this day because, you know how we used to go out in college. But he from Chicago, so he was he had that swag, Melo from B-More, he was just so chill with it, and he just killed me. And it was funny because when I got a chance to coach him, we laughed about
Hold up. That must be surreal. Yeah. That must be crazy. You go from being a player with somebody and us, because he's a mega star, to now coaching him. How's that conversation? You didn't do this right?
I pick guys' brains at that age. Just
at that level.
At that level.
Right.
Just how do you see the game?
Right.
What would you do? Or what coverage would you do? When I'm doing my scouts, how do you want to guard it? Because
they know the play just like you know the play.
Yeah, because I've been there. I've been in their sit your shoes. I know what it feels like to be in a situation, and a coach might say, "Yo, we need to do it this way." And to me, it's no right or wrong way. You could skin a cat 1,000 ways, but just get it done. Exactly. So to me, I always ask for the players' input because they play these guys so many times, so they know their weaknesses, they know their strengths.
Trying to, but it goes into Ivey. Hoya has to bring it up. 8 seconds to go.
He's got to hurry, Craig.
Hoya out on the right side. 5 seconds. 4. Drive to the left baseline. Pulls up. Jumper with 2 seconds.
Do you think you would become a college coach at any point?
I thought about it. If the opportunity presented itself, my dream job would be to coach my alma mater, Texas, or even the St. John's job. Because I wanted to go to St. John's and they didn't recruit me. They actually signed Willie Shore, I remember.
But he was a 3 though.
Yeah, but I don't know that.
That was Mike Jarvis, right?
Yeah, true story, me and the Clyde went and sat in front of Mike Jarvis and said, this kid wants to come to school. And Seton Hall just kind of got on the wagon, at the end. And I wanted to go to St. John's. And he was like, oh, yeah. And they watched me in the garden and all that and didn't budge.
Right.
Yep, so I was just like, well, thank you, because it probably wouldn't have worked out, but I'm glad I ended up where I was at. So
you would like to go back to Texas and be a coach, or St. John?
Texas definitely my dream job. Just St. John's, being in New York and helping it get to that level, because they've been down for so long. But definitely Texas, because I'm forever indebted to University of Texas for how it shaped my life and my career and all that. So, and I want to see them get back to where we had.
What's next for you, though? Since college is not an option right now, you're still with the Knicks. What's going to happen with the Knicks? We're not going to forecast what they're going to do, but career-wise with you.
I'm day to day, trying to get better, just trying to hone my skills and just be just prepare myself for the next opportunity that I'm given. That's all I can, you know, dream for. I gotta stay in the moment. It's a reason why I'm going through these steps. It's the reason why I'm going through what I've gone through in the coaching situation. So I'm just taking it day to day, and like my end goal. Hopefully, I do become a head coach, but I just want to be ready when the time comes. So that's my end goal. Like that's my end goal, and just getting better every day, and just investing my time into these players, and just loving the game, man. Because it's basketball, man. Like who would have thought like basketball could do so many things for you? You know what I mean? Like we don't look at it like when that's all said and done. I want to be able to say, yo, I've been X, Y, did this because of that round rubber ball.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah, like you're shooting a hoop. Like it's so crazy to me. Like I don't have a 9 to 5. Like I coach basketball, so like it's not a job. Like this is my lifelong passion. So like my end goal, I don't think I have an end goal. When I decide to put it down, that's my end goal. When I retire, that's my end goal. So I'm gonna just keep on striving and trying to get better and just trying to push the culture.
I appreciate it. For somebody that's coming from the grassroots all the way to the top, like I said earlier, you're probably one of the few NBA guys from New York, and I think we need to see more of you on that level. And the fact that you got your degree wasn't necessarily ranked as high as you should have been. 10 years in the league, and that's a tribute to your work ethic in New York. It made you who you are.
Definitely. My whole thing is, this is what I want to say. Like, we all have choices. We all have decisions, and in a game of life, like you are able to design your own life, and we always have these stipulations, or this person's doing this person's doing that, this person's holding me back. That's an opportunity to work a little bit harder. Or look at yourself and say, what can I do to be better? So you manifest your own destiny. Your thoughts, your energy, your aura, your everything, like the way you treat people, that all counts. You know, that all counts. Like, I don't want to work with people that don't have good energy or that excuse my language, assholes. So, I mean, that's my message. Like, treat people how the way you want to treat people, but it all comes back to you at the end. So, calm is everything. So, love is love too. We need to love each other more. And I love my people, man. And I try to tell them all the time, because we on borrowed time. It's temporary.
You know, it was bittersweet because I was down there coaching, and you know, I was helping out the young guys and helping out Coach Barnes, and you know, Katie came down for a couple trips, and it was just great, you know. And I have so much more respect for the, you know, Scotty Brooks and the coaching staff, because I know what they go through on a day-to-day basis, and you know, just working with young guys is not the easiest thing, and but I'm glad I got that under my belt, and now it's back to work.
We at the MECCA podcast. Well, I'm with somebody that I have a great deal of respect for, man. Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.